Hi Gina.
Hi Ione, hi everyone. I'm Gina, the senior editor of Polyester.
And I'm Ione, the founding editor-in-chief of Polyester, and this is the Polyester Podcast, a feminist pop culture podcast dissecting the discourse on a weekly basis.
Please make sure to like, rate, subscribe and review. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to our membership platform for exclusive podcast-centered perks. We're offering exclusive video episodes, secret mini episodes, and even episodes centered on what you want us to talk about across different tier options. Go check it out at the link in our description. Do we have any reviews, Ione?
We do. This is 5 stars from Sushi Gigi Mama in India. A lovely username. It's fantastic. Get all my updates here. Aww. And then on Spotify, we have Catherine B saying, laugh so much at the end. Love you both so much. Best hosts ever. Ha 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 ha. I can't even remember what was at the end.
It's when you told me you'd take my tinfoil hat off.
Oh, well, we're trying. And then Esther, our girl, says, I heavily resonated with the sigh at 9:28. And who knows what it was, but it's probably me sighing at Gina.
No, I think we were sighing at the state of affairs.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so today, in more state of affairs, I feel like we cover J.K. Rowling so much on this podcast, but like we haven't since you've been on as the co-host, and it's crazy that it's spanned this long.
Also, I'm the person who probably has the most to contribute on this.
Previous nerd.
Previous big Harry Potter nerd.
I'm not being funny. Sorry, no offense, but that doesn't exactly make you unique.
No, I know.
Else was.
But I feel like...
I think everyone in our age bracket was a big Harry Potter fan at one point, nearly.
Were you?
Yeah, big time.
But how old were you? Because I was like 15.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was when the books were still... Well, we were 18 when the last film came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still a fan then.
It's sad, isn't it?
Like, it wasn't my identity. I didn't have a Tumblr called Griffin Slut.
Who would?
Gina Tonic is the answer here. But we've covered J.K. Rowling in 2020, probably in loads of other points in time as well. Big, evil, nasty woman, allegedly. Don't sue me, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I thought the timeline was really interesting. 'Cause I really remember when she was first like having at it and people were like, oh no, I think she's going to be a TERF. It was when you could still see likes on Twitter.
Yeah.
And people were like, she's liking TERFy things. Like, she's going to start being TERF.
Bring back likes. People need to get a bit of shame.
Remember Armie Hammers?
No. Is that how people found out he was a cannibal?
No, but he was like in those like mental BDSM ones, and it was
when he was. It
was when he was still married, and then someone found out and he just deleted his Twitter.
So J.K. Rowling is back in the headlines, and I also think it's a bit of a case of like it can feel like she goes away for a while and comes back, but that's actually not true. Like if you ever stumble into J.K. Rowling's Twitter, obviously big trigger warning for transphobia here, it's just like consistently telling trans people to die. And it can kind of seem like that's not happening because it's not getting covered in the news, and then it only kind of is getting covered in these big moments, which are Emma Watson, Hermione Granger, went on Jay Shetty's podcast. Gina didn't know who Jay Shetty was.
I was blissfully ignorant.
Yeah, for the best, to be honest.
Oh, I won't be tuning in, sorry Jay.
Madonna's also gone on this week.
I wonder what she's going to say about J.K. Rowling.
I think it also really feeds into like the podcast industrial complex that we were talking about on the Come Town episodes. They were even saying it on Lorraine the other day, like, oh, celebrities only want a book going on podcasts now, which is what we are saying.
Yeah, and people don't want to do beautifully written interviews.
Well, it's because it's this like faux sense of intimacy, isn't it? Anyway.
And hyper control.
Yeah, it's a hyper controlled intimacy.
Yeah.
Foul. So, on the podcast, Emma Watson was asked about J.K. Rowling. She said, it's my deepest wish that I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily share the same opinion with. I really don't believe that by having had that experience and holding the love and support and views that I have mean that I can't and don't treasure Joe and the person that I had personal experiences with. I will never believe that one negates the other, and that my experience of that person I don't get to keep and cherish. I think the thing that I'm most upset about is that a conversation was never made possible. I will always remain open for that dialogue. I believe in that. I believe in that completely. Yeah, I believe in that. I believe in that completely. I just don't want to see anything that continues to weaponize a toxic debate and conversation, which is why I don't continue to comment. Not because I don't really care about her or about the issue, but the way the conversation is had feels really painful for me.
Yeah, I bet it's really, really painful for you, Emma Watson.
Yeah, no, exactly. So personally affected by J.K. Rowling being a massive TERF.
Yeah, isn't it? Like, oh my God, I'm sure your life is so hard because of TERF rhetoric.
Yeah. Like, also, okay, so then, I'll tell the whole story and then we can get into it.
Okay, fab.
J.K. Rowling then issued a statement on X, of which she does not have the character limit because she's got a blue tick and I doubt she pays for it.
Wait, is that her actual pronouns on X? Okay, sorry.
Is it?
No, Rob's just had a joke.
Rob's just put it in for a laugh. It's say/ton. Satan. It's true. Okay, so J.K. Rowling says, I'm seeing quite a bit of comment about this, so I want to make a couple of points. I am not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with the boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected, and I won't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work, violence, or death because of them. However, Emma and Dan in particular have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. Years after they finished acting in Potter, they continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. When you've known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of children who needed to be gently coaxed through their dialogue in a big, scary film studio. For the past few years, I've repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers that I didn't want her to be hounded as a result of anything I said. The television presenter in the attached clip, funny because it's not TV, highlights Emma's all witches speech. And in truth, that was a turning point for me. But it had a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note from her to me, which contained the single sentence, I'm sorry for what you're going through. She has my phone number. This was back when the death, rape and torture threats against me were at their peak, at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably and I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol on the flames, and yet thought a one-line expression of concern from her would reassure me of her fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed into a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood. Has J.K. Rowling? For like 30 years? No. She's not going into Marks and Spencer and trying on some knickers.
Who's trying on
No
knickers?
one. Bra. There you go.
Not the bra discourse after what she was doing.
What'd she do? Oh, there was this whole thing about evanescent bras, wasn't there?
Yeah, and she was just making it up.
Oh, my Lord. Her public bathroom is single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. What? Does that mean that she's... Oh, whatever.
If she's in public, then she'll have like...
A man will stand outside going, don't go in there.
Yeah.
Has she had to
ripping her ass off.
Has she had to strip off in a newly mixed sex changing room at a council-run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis centre that refuses to guarantee an all-female service? To find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into the women's prison? I wasn't a multi-millionaire at 14. Sorry. That's not funny, but come on. But also, isn't it like not even true that she is as poor as she made out with the whole like Harry Potter story? It's like she was actually just living in her friend's mansion.
I think she was...
Let's ask the expert.
She was a victim of like domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And then she was like on the dole and living in like a little flat in Edinburgh. But like the timeline of it isn't like she wasn't as skin for the whole time as she said. And also Harry Potter came out when she was 31. I'm 32.
Anyway. Wow, that's crazy. That's so mad.
What?
Well, in my head, she's always just been 50.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
She's 60 now. She was 31 when they come out. So she spent like... So say you become an adult at 18. So then she spent 13 years...
Poor.
And then she spent 30 years after that being obscenely rich, living in Mould Mansion.
So, the statement goes on. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand from my own life experience what the trashing of women's rights, in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated in, means to women and girls without her privileges. The greatest irony here is that, had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was. It is in the circles I run in. I might never have been this honest. Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love, as though the friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, this is finally the time that she's decided to speak out against the way that she's treated.
It's a crazy statement because she starts it by going like, I felt a motherly responsibility towards these kids, and then goes, but I'm not their mother. Fuck 'em.
Fuck off. Yeah, the whole thing's like just full of bananas bullshit.
I actually think the whole thing's a bit mad as well because J.K. Rowling is J.K. Rowlinging, but Emma Watson is stupid. No offense, Emma, if you're listening.
She is, yeah.
Like, it's really stupid to go on this podcast. I was saying this before we recorded. It's like, as we said, these podcasts foster a false sense of intimacy. And we know how interviews always work if you're interviewing a celebrity, especially of Emma Watson's caliber, who doesn't do many interviews, probably because she has so many, like, conditions. And all it would have taken was Emma Watson's PR going, she won't talk about J.K. Rowling. Questions off the table. So I think she...
Not even just that, like, she could have given that quote and they'd be like, you can't use that.
Well, no, exactly. She would have had edit sign off. She would have had absolutely everything.
Yeah, she's sat in fucking wherever she lives going, oh, I've played a blinder.
Well, she wants to do it.
Everyone will like me.
She wants to do it. Like, that's the point. I mean, and I don't think that she's necessarily, like, a bad person or, like, is mean or whatever. I just also think it's a bit pathetic.
I think it's ignorant.
I don't think it's even ignorant. I think it's more like pathetic by being like, my personal relationship with this person doesn't cloud like my political views don't cloud my personal feelings. It's like, well, I'm sorry. If my mum was a billionaire, and she isn't even her mum, and threatening to like kill trans women every day and threatening like saying they don't deserve to live and like being nasty to India Willoughby, I wouldn't be happy at all. I wouldn't speak to my mum.
No, I wouldn't. You need to be more comfortable cutting people off if they're acting.
I think everyone is comfortable with that. Like, and also, no, this is another thing I said. I feel like it's a very different thing to like pull your grandma up who reads the Daily Mail because they never leave the house and haven't for 2 years. So therefore has maybe developed some like problematic ideology. Like, obviously you don't cut your nan off. You try and like talk to her about it and stop it. But so it seems like that's the kind of approach that Emma Watson is taking to J.K. Rowling, like as if like we cannot, like not even we can learn or anything, but you know, like you can love someone and have different views, like, you know. And it's like, but she's not your family. She's an incredibly famous person and she is actually causing like real material harm.
Yeah, I think it's really a really dangerous rhetoric as well to put out there, to be like, we can have our differences and still like each other as friends, when the political climate is so dangerous and so like split. Like, no, we should be actively trying to like change people's opinions if we don't agree with them. Like if they are having ones that are actively damaging communities, not just the trans community, but like all the protests we've seen with all the flags recently. Like it would be so easy to be like, well, my cousin, yeah, he went to the London March, but I love him. Like, we used to go butling together all the time when we were kids. Like, we can just love each other and have different opinions. Like, that sort of, like, line just gets trotted out over and over, especially by conservative people.
Yeah.
To be like, well, I've had people fall out with me for being conservative, but I've never fallen out with someone for being Labour.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, you should, like, you should be able to engage people in these conversations, and you should be able to be like, no, actually, like, I really do not approve of what you're doing. So you should be Daniel Radcliffe.
But also, so I was thinking about, well, I feel like when you get into, like, the creative industry or entertainment, which obviously we're not in the same way that Emma Watson is, like, that'd be absolutely ridiculous to say. But, like, and how people just become more, like, slippery fish with their morals as they're climbing, or, like, when they're getting into these spaces, for example. Like, because you could be in a room, and you'll be in a room with, like, a right-wing pundit, and then you'll be in a room with like someone who's the aristocracy and like all of these people that like, you know, like someone who fucking shags reform, and you're like, well, we're all in the same industry, so like we can have a drink, and like, you know, it's what I was saying last week, like about it being a game to these people. Like it actually doesn't affect their lives materially in any way, so it means that they can move through the world in a way that's just like non-committal to anything. And I think Emma Watson in general has been someone that has like quite sound opinions on things, like obviously neoliberal and all of that, but like I'm not saying she's radical or anything, but it seems like she does have a brain and is not trying to be a bigot. But I think this is just one of those situations where it's like so many people make allowances. Prisoner's dilemma yet again. Like they're like, oh well, I can like hang out with a Tory if it means that I then get a job, or I can do this if it means that. But it's actually so important to be principled, because otherwise, these things are just being platformed. Like I remember when I was signing with a lit agent, one of the offers I got was from someone who reps all the big turfs. Like, I'm talking about all of them, apart from J.K. Rowling. And it's like, I didn't sign with her because I don't want to be on a roster where like half of them are platforming these views. And like, obviously it doesn't mean that I would have those views by de facto or whatever, but it's important to be like, I don't back the type of people you're backing, and I'm not going to work for that.
Exactly.
Break?
Let's break. We're back from the break. I thought it was really interesting you saying that, yeah, they're kind of like devoid, apart from these experiences in real life where it will like actually affect them to like stand by their principles or not stand by their principles. And I think that's what I found really interesting in J.K. Rowling's response, because she's saying, right, well, I used to be poor 30 years ago. Emma wasn't. And she had never experienced having a mixed sex public hospital ward. She'd never experienced having a changing room, high street changing room where like a trans woman might be in there. But it's like 30 years ago, you wouldn't have either.
No.
Like there's no fucking way. Like J.K. Rowling's trying to like position herself as being like, these are the experiences that I've had that have radicalized me because I used to come from a working class background. But that's not true. That's not true at all. 30 years ago, in 1995, trans people were so maligned in society. Do you think that there was a state-run rape crisis centre that was having a trans woman on the staff? Do you think there was a prison where they weren't like exclusively putting trans women in men prisons? Like that's such like a new thing.
Even
that's
like
happened.
a swimming pool changing room. I've never been to a mixed sex swimming pool changing room.
Well, she's saying that to be like, it's mixed sex because there's trans women in there.
Oh, well, I think something that's just like such a, like, it's such an easy to, the problem is everything about J.K. Rowling's ideology is so easy to break down, but so cloaked in like reasonable, like in bunny ears, dog whistles, right? So I feel like that first thing that she wrote, remember she wrote that like essay in 2020 where she was like, this is why I am questioning. And it was talking about all the domestic abuse and like all of that kind of stuff. It's really hard to question that. And I also think it's really hard, particularly for women that are like her age and like women that like maybe, yeah, exactly, didn't grow up with like as many resources as we did, like didn't have like the same access to things as we did, to be like, well, suddenly something's being taken away from, and now are more privileged. Like it's the same thing. Like as soon as, it was something we were saying about, I don't think we read it out, but last week in the fascist research, it was like one of the main tenets of fascism is to convince like all the privileged people that they're losing something, which is like what we're seeing with like men's rights activists. And I feel like it works quite similarly for middle class white women and trans ideology, as they call it.
Yeah, 100%. It's that thing of being, because that's what she says over and over again, like, I'm campaigning for women's rights.
Yeah, not against trans people.
But it's like, babe, two things, like, you can campaign for women's rights and trans women's rights.
Well, yeah, I know, but this is just, I think this is just the general thing that they'll, like, this is where it's just bigotry. Like, it's not just, like, a misunderstanding anymore. Like, J.K. Rowling has, like, very specifically chosen to be hateful and rotted.
Yeah.
And why is she rotted?
I think the apples run right to the core
the
from the
mold
black mold
yeah.
on my wall.
tell everyone the black mold theory.
So I think it was last year, but maybe it was the year before. No, it was definitely last year. Someone spotted that in J.K. Rowling's profile picture was just like a webcam photo in her living room. There was loads of black mold on the wall, like behind her, like literally like creeping up to like shoulder level on the walls behind her, because she obviously lives in like some big wet mansion in Scotland. Which also, like, it takes so much umbrage with, like, she's always kicking off about like the Scottish rights and things that Scotland does, and like when it was the big referendum in Scotland, she was like campaigning for Scotland to stay with England. You're English?
Is she?
Yeah,
I thought she was Scottish.
she's an English woman. Like, fuck off. Like, really take your nose out of where you don't belong. You don't belong in the Scottish referendum, and you don't belong in the fucking trans right debate. Anyway, so her big gaff, wall to wall, black mould. Someone was like, black mould like poisons your brain. Like, it literally gives you like old Mad King syphilis symptoms, but like where you just start saying like,
well, if you want to read
shite.
some excellent writing on mould, Kieran Yates's book, All the Houses I've Ever Lived In, really, really educated me on mould and how it can affect you.
It can really affect you. It can really fuck you up. You can get not just like mentally unwell, like J.K. Rowling might allegedly be, but it can make you really physically unwell as well. But so then she changed her profile picture to like, I don't know, her smoking a cigar, her like putting her middle finger up to like a toilet door, whatever the fuck she gets up to. And then she's posted selfies still in that room, still with the black mold.
Haven't people done like years by years as well, where you can like,
you can see like the black
growing
mold,
up
like
the
people.
back?
Also, Diva, get the mold removed if someone points it out.
She's rich.
Just like get the walls painted.
The thing is, rich people live in filth. No offense,
No,
not
they don't.
across the board. No, no, I'm saying no offense, as if like a millionaires can be sitting at home crying.
I don't live in filth. They don't.
But you know it's true.
No, they all live in grotty little houses, like salt bin house.
Big houses, yeah.
They can't afford to clean them. But J.K. Rowling can.
Inarguably can.
But that's because it's like fucking The Last of Us. She likes the black mold. She's made mates with it. It's like infected her brain and it's part of who she is. Allegedly.
Yeah, and I think this, like, we've been having these conversations a lot about in the office about the new Harry Potter HBO show, and the
audiobook.
And the audiobook. So lots of new Harry Potter things going on lately. First of all, new HBO TV show in which they're planning to do all books as series. So like season 1 is Philosopher's Stone, season 2 is The Chamber of Secrets, and so on and so forth. I saw a really good tweet about it though, being like, it's so bold of them to like be casting all these roles now when most seasons get cancelled after 2 seasons now. Like, how do they even know they're getting 7? B, audiobook. So yeah, loads of famous British people have signed on to do like a audio play basically of the audiobook. And basically so many people have been cast in it and everyone's like, this is really disappointing because it's basically like a co-sign of J.K. Rowling and her transphobic views. And it's true. And I can't remember what my point is.
Well, loads of them, the people who have signed on are then signing up to do like trans charity work as if it like negates
as if it fucking, yeah, exactly. Then, being like, I still stand with the community. What?
Yeah.
What are you on about?
Like saying things like, oh, I didn't realise, I don't think she's got like I've not really looked into her views. I only know like at a surface level that I disagree with them. But it's like, I think that's the problem with most people when it comes to J.K. Rowling is they're like, oh, I know that she holds those views. They don't know how fucking maniacal she is about them.
This is what
like,
I was going to say.
All she does is sit at home tweeting about it, like day in, day out. Go out. Like, go. Leave your house. You're in Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean?
No, this is what I was going to say. Circling back to like, yeah, you might think that, you know, she doesn't really pop her head above the precipice unless it's something like she's being, you know, goaded. But this is her 24/7. Like, she's constantly tweeting. She's constantly putting this forward. She's constantly being horrible. And I think also with the nice person, generous reading of it is that, yeah, these people don't understand the extent to which she is spewing hatred, and the agents are sitting there going, money. I'm not going to tell them, because I'd be very surprised if any celebrity is on Twitter as much as we are.
You don't even have to be on Twitter a lot. The first thing you do is being like, J.K. Rowling does turfy things on Twitter. Let me just go have a quick look at that. Holy fuck. Maybe I should, stick with doing the trans charity night, but also fuck this off.
I also understand that, like, they're probably getting paid a lot of money, but surely...
No, they're all just doing it for a laugh.
And what I mean is, none of these people are so, like, unfamous or, like, on their asses that they can't go without.
I just feel so fucked for the kids, like...
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
Like, they just don't know what they're getting themselves into at all.
Parents... This is a whole other podcast, but parents shouldn't be allowed to have their kids be child actors.
Child acting shouldn't be real.
No, child acting shouldn't be real. Maybe that's one use of AI, as long as they can learn not to kill the fish.
No, I don't think it should even be AI. I think it should be, all of them should be Nathan Fielder.
You hated that bit of the
I did, it knocked me sick, but I think
of the rehearsal season 2.
if he was just on his knees prattling about with a scar on his head.
Like, sorry, in what world is Belle Powley playing Petunia Durdsley? Also, isn't she just rich anyway?
Who?
Belle Powley.
You get in for specifics.
Yeah, I've got the IMDb up. Johnny Flynn, defo a rich man. Catherine Parkinson, defo a rich woman. Like, all these people already
Hugh Laurie,
have...
rich as fuck.
Yeah, they probably all have enough wealth to live like, over and over in their lives. Like, on the audiobook, isn't it, like, Keira Knightley and Olivia Colman?
Yeah. Wealth is an addiction, though.
Go on.
Wealth is an addiction. Like, as soon as you start accruing it, you, like, just want more. Even just like fucking J.K. Rowling does, even though she knows what it's like to having lived in poverty.
I think this is actually a bit of a different thing with J.K. Rowling. Like, I think it's not necessarily money. I think she does feel really entitled to it. Like, the way she's wording the statement that she said about Emma Watson, it's like, they think they have a say on the world that I created, the world that I wrote, the world that I did. And I'm not saying I know how that feels, because obviously I fucking don't. Like, it's so rare to create something that, like, permeates culture in all facets as Harry Potter. But, like, she's also just completely negating, like, it is as much like people know Dan Radcliffe more than, like...
But I also think it's just like luck of the draw as well. Like, I think there's probably so many books out there who just have way better world building.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
I think I could sit down, give me 2 weeks, I've got a fucking multiverse that is cracking. Like, do you know what I mean? Get me in that cafe in fucking Scotland. I'll write you the children's book that'll blow your fucking head off.
I believe you. It's not even good.
Witches and wizards. Right,
But
I'm doing elves and goblins. Let's go.
Like, I think she struggles a lot with the fact that she doesn't feel ownership over something she created because of how big it's got. So, like, so much of her life is spent being like, well... yeah, actually, if you like Harry Potter, that is a cosign of me and my views. Like, she doesn't shy away from it. When people were saying about boycott the Harry Potter video game, she was like, ha ha ha, I'll still be lying on my big piles of money.
Well, I guess...
She literally said something like that.
I guess my question for you,
yeah,
and one for us all to ponder, listeners, is should people like Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe and people who have openly turned against her views continue to speak out about it on podcasts and stuff like that, or because that puts her back into the press, or should they leave her to just back to grumbling on Twitter?
I don't know. I think those three in particular, like Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson, are in a really catch-22 situation, because also, like, not to be like, oh, the poor millionaire child actors, but like, they are all probably really traumatized and, like, also probably didn't realize what they were getting themselves into. Like, I don't think the kids are now either, but them even less so. Like, no one would understand what, like, a phenomenon it would be, and that your whole life would always be defined by this experience that you did from the age of 10 to, like, 18, basically.
Yeah, this one role.
And I think, like, it's good that they speak. Like, I don't think it's good to do a wishy-washy statement like Emma Watson has, but, like, Dan Radcliffe, for example, has done, like, very explicit, like, no.
Condemnations, yeah.
And, like, who's that one that was going mad on Twitter? Was it who played Seamus Finnegan, or was it someone else who was like, oh, and everyone was like, you're not going to make any more money, and he was like, what, for my royalty checks from, like, one scene 10 years ago, as if I give a fuck. Like, I have a real job now. I think that's, like, it's never going to go away. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like this huge monolith in culture, and, like, it's never going to go away from culture, because now people our age are having kids and they're showing their kids Harry Potter, and you go into central London and everything's a fucking Harry Potter shop. It's crazy.
Well, they're all shills.
Well, yeah, they're all fronts, but it doesn't stop it
being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, G?
No, yeah, I think they should be either being forthright in condemnation, or they should be keeping their fucking yaps shut.
I also think a big problem of it as well is that, like, maybe, like, I don't really think it's good that we have these wishy-washy moments, but, like, at least now maybe some people will go on J.K. Rowling's Twitter and be like, whoa.
Yeah, she's fucked
It's gone very, very far. Whereas before, like, that might not happen.
But I think people might go on her Twitter and be like, I agree with her. She'll radicalise more people as well.
Yeah, I think it's two sides of a coin. And I think this is the thing, like, all of J.K. Rowling's, like, real ideology that she tries to apply against trans people, it's so obvious that she just got worm-brained by the internet and radicalised by the internet, and none of it's actually based in real experience.
Jesus
No,
Christ. Did you see what Jinx Monsoon said about her? It was really, really good.
No.
She did an interview, I think it was on Z-Way.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I remember now, yes.
Yeah, and she was like, Z-Way's obviously just like asking questions to get good responses. And she's like, what do you think about
Yeah.
as an interview may as an interviewer may do. If you're familiar with Z-Way's interview style.
I think everyone's familiar with Z-Way. Well, not everyone.
Well,
That's
exactly.
an assumption.
But sorry, Rob's pissing himself. I'm going to read it out loud. Let me find it. So, Jinx Monsoon, drag queen, Broadway star, legend, non-binary, went on the Z-Way's podcast. Z-Way's interview style is obviously really funny. And she asked if J.K. Rowling would make a good Roxy Hart in Chicago. Which is really jokes. But then Jinx goes, who is this? Who is Jake? Who is he? J.K. Rowling. And then Z-Way says, J.K. Rowling's a she. And then Monsoon goes, that's not a feminine name in the slightest. I know that oftentimes female authors use initials so people assume that it's a male writer. I have to presume that J.K. Rowling was unsatisfied with the way that the world saw her and then transitioned herself into a new personality so that the world would perceive her the way that she wanted to be perceived. And then Z-Way goes, gagging.
And with that, we bid you adieu, dear listeners.
Nay. We bid you goodbye.
If I ever see J.K. Rowling, this is a threat, allegedly.
What's the threat?
I will not be nice to you.
I'm just gonna say that
She's very litigious, so
you're not gonna see J.K. Rowling because she's sat in her house doing fucking tweets. I know she's doing it on a big Mac. I know she's sat like at a computer desk.
yeah, no,
doing
100%.
it.
No, I bet it's
100%.
Windows. It's gonna be
There's
Windows.
no fucking way she is sat in a comfy chair on her phone. She is looking at it on the biggest, like, most expensive Mac screen possible, and probably flicking a bean about how many people are excited that she's won a turf argument. And then she's going, alas, I've done really well
Something
today.
else we were saying is that we'd love to see what our kids think about this.
Yeah, some of them have like the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
And they never will because they'll be cut off by a billionaire mum.
They could do it in private.
Yeah, maybe we should try befriend a Rowling.
Dear Rowlings, if you're listening,
we have an open heart.
my email is gina.tonic@polySC.com.
And we'll never tell. We'll never tell.
You can dress up down here whenever you want.
Thank you, G.
Thanks, Ione.
Thank you, Rob, for the research and Olivia for the edit.
And Rob for the sound tech.
We love you. Bye.